What's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports. Happy Thanksgiving. We are going to be breaking down the NFL slate on Thanksgiving. We have 3 games. We have 6 plays for you. We have some honorable mention picks that we're going to talk about at the end of the show. We just are seeing a lot of value in this slate. It's going to be a lot of fun. Kicking it off at 12:30 Eastern with the Bears versus the Lions. We got the Giants versus the Cowboys for the mid window. And then tomorrow night, we've got the Dolphins versus the Packers. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video if you don't mind, and drop us a comment if you have plays that you are excited about, or if you have a question about plays. Just hit us with the comments and we'll do a little bit of research and get back to you in the comment section. I'll briefly talk about our partners. We are partnered with Underdog, Parlay Play, and Better now. So if you use code BACKDOOR on any of those platforms, for Underdog, they're going to give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash, plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. For Better, they're going to give you a $200 deposit match, plus a free pick to cash your first slip. And then for Parlay Play, they're going to give you a 100% deposit match up to $100, plus a $5 promo slip. Plus, we're going to give you 30 days in our Discord if you use our code over there on Parlay Play. And speaking of Parlay Play, they're running a Jahmyr Gibbs special. They're doing the slashed line play over there on Jahmyr Gibbs too, so a discounted rushing prop. And I know a lot of these platforms are running specials right now, but we're going to have fun on Thanksgiving. Our last 6-man NFL slip was super close. We went 5 of 6. Austin Eckler just let us down. Very unexpected situation there, but
he took a little Thanksgiving nap for that too. So.
Yeah.
Not that we wanted him to do that, but he did in fact take a little snoozer on the field. So
yeah.
Next time, cash your fantasy score, bro. Just kidding.
yeah, exactly. Let's talk about the plays that we're going to be getting into. We've got these locked in on Prize Picks and Better. Mine are a little bit different on Underdog. And I think let me just walk through it because we're covering 4 platforms. So for Prize Picks, my plays are going to be Jonnu Smith over 4.5 receptions, Rico Dowdle over 66.5 rushing yards, Malik Neighbors over 6 receptions. On Underdog, I'm getting 6.5 receptions for Malik Neighbors. Still like that to go over. It's a little boost as well, 1.11x. Jonnu Smith, I'm taking his fantasy score because last I checked, they didn't have his receptions. Oh, they've got it now. Let's take that instead. Well, let's see. It's saying it's inactive. So I'll have to make sure I can get that. And then Rico Dowdle, they did not have his rushing yards, and then they do now. So, okay. Yeah, I'm taking all the same on Underdog. They're probably a little bit higher or lower, but I'd rather just stick with the lines that I got. And then on Better, I think that we got it across the board. Rico Dowdle's rushing yards were a little bit higher, 2 yards higher, 68.5, but I'm going to still be taking that for more because I love this matchup. And then Jonnu Smith, I went with his fantasy points because they did not have the receptions. And then Malik Neighbors, I went with his receiving yards over 66.5 receiving yards because once again, I couldn't get the receptions. But my favorite is the Prize Picks line with the Jonnu Smith receptions, Dowdle rushing yards, and Malik Neighbors receptions. What are you getting into, Jordy?
Yeah, so for me, I'm going to be taking Tyron Tracy's receiving yards again. We're getting it at 11.5. And I'm taking CeeDee Lamb's receptions for over 6.5. And I'm taking Jason Sanders for over 1.5 field goals made. Getting that on Better. Same line, except we're getting, same lines over there. Parlay Play, we're getting a pretty big discount on Tyron Tracy's receiving yards, actually, for a full multiplier. 1.78x for a 9.5 receiving yard prop. Jason Sanders, we're taking his total kicking points at 7.5 over. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, we're getting... why I have Jahmyr Gibbs on here. He snuck into my lineup. Not taking Jahmyr Gibbs. I had his rushing yard on here. That slashed line is why he's in here. CeeDee Lamb at 6.5 receptions, taking him too. I guess Jahmyr Gibbs is finding his way into that lineup over there. And then on underdog, same lines across the board, except we're getting Tyron Tracy at 9.5 again. So really good deals. Prize Picks has the highest receiving yard prop. I still feel good about it at 11.5 though. I'd take it all the way at 12.5 for sure. So that's gonna be my 3.
All right. Don't forget about the Tyreek Hill free play.
Yes.
If you haven't locked that in yet, they've got that 0.5 receiving yards. I've still got a little bit of credit left with that I'm going to figure out what I want to pair that with. But yeah, let's start breaking down these plays. I like Jonnu Smith a lot to go over this 4.5 line. He's gone over this 6 out of his last 10 games. He's got a soft matchup here, 17th in receptions allowed. And Green Bay, last I checked, Jair Alexander is out. Yeah, he's out as of 8 hours ago. So I know that's not like directly, it's not like he's guarding tight ends, but that still like opens up that secondary a little bit. So it's a little bit less scary for all pass catchers for the Dolphins in this game. Let me take a look at this over under. So 47.5 point over under. Green Bay favored by 3.5, playing in Green Bay. Yeah, I mean, Jonnu's just been a big part of what they're doing lately. Last week, he went for 9 receptions, went absolutely nuts. Take a look at the yards. Yeah, 87 yards. The week before that, what was he at? Like 6 receptions, and he went for even more yards. He's been getting in the end zone too. So yeah, he went for 101 yards against Las Vegas. He's just been kind of on fire lately. Yeah, that game against Las Vegas, he had 2 touchdowns and then another touchdown last week against New England. So I like the receptions the best because I feel like he's for sure going to get 5. And then if for some reason everything else doesn't go absolutely perfect, I think he's just good for 5 catches no matter what, personally. But yeah, like where I can't get that, I'm happy to take the fantasy score, like on Better. I believe that's what we had to take. So yeah, let me take a look here at Daily Grind. They've got his receptions as the best play on Prize Picks for Jonnu. 53.06% odds to hit the over, minus 134. And everybody's got this juiced, and with good reason. They also like his fantasy score to go over 10.5. I believe Prize Picks and Better are both full point PPR. So if he hits these receptions, he's probably hitting that fantasy score. If he gets in the end zone, you're good to go no matter what. So feeling great about that. But yeah, that fantasy score is going to be a 51.97% odds to hit the over. And we have like a bunch of platforms bump that up into the 11s already. So let's move on. We got Malik Neighbors here. Outlier has this as a EV plus play for over the 6.5. And why I really like this is we know who Malik Neighbors is. He's an absolute stud. He's going to be elite. He's going to be one of the best. You know, he's the next man up to be in that conversation with, you know, the Jamar Chases and the Justin Jeffersons and stuff. It's like I know he's not there yet. I'm not trying to say he is, but I'm just saying he's that tier of potential. Him and Marvin Harrison Jr., like those two are in that realm. And so is Roma Dunze for that matter, but he, you know, just has to develop a little bit more. But anyways, Malik Neighbors, it has been an absolute dumpster fire. And I don't know if you guys saw that interview with him when they were asking about his lack of usage in the first half. And I think he said he called the team soft after that last game when they were interviewing him post game, and it was actually pretty funny. I shared it on our Instagram, but he's like popping a piece of gum, and he's just like telling them like, what they're like, what did you think about that loss? And he's like, we're soft as F, you know, and and he was like, he's like, I didn't get any targets in the first half. You know, he's like, you can't start feeding me the ball when we're down by 30. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like, I'm taking your receptions this week, because he still went for 6, you know, he still went for 6, and he's complaining about not getting the targets. And this team is going to feed him this week. Drew Lock is going to be starting. Tommy DeVito is out, I believe. Let me confirm that. Well, he's questionable as of 12 hours ago. They should just start Drew Lock. His forearm's hurt. whoever starts, you better be feeding Malik Neighbors. I think that's what's going to be going on here after that. He's the squeaky wheel for sure. The matchup is actually kind of a soft spot, like, 7th overall in receptions allowed, but to wide receivers, 18th. So I think that, and on top of that, I believe, let me see the update on Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is questionable with a groin injury. Limited participant in today's practice. Either way, I think that they've got to feed him. This is EV plus. Even last week with no receptions in the first half, he still went for 6, and he's gone for 6 or more in 4 out of his last 5 games. But I'm all over this. I took this as a demon in my free play, so I'm feeling super confident about it. If we take a look here, they love his receptions. The fact that we're getting it at 6 on Prize Picks is awesome. I'm happy with the 6.5. I'll take it over 6.5 all day. But at that 6 on Prize Picks, DG has this at a 54.83% odds to hit the over, minus 141. And no one's given us this at 6. So happy to take it, and I'm happy to take 6.5. So I think I've said enough about that. They also like his fantasy score to go over. If you're, it's just barely 50.9% odds to hit the over if you want to pivot, but I'm taking these receptions all day after what he said. So, and then this last play, Rico Dowdle. I know this one doesn't look great at first glance, but he's been playing pretty solid. He's averaging like 4 yards a carry. He's getting the bulk of the work. And then last week, they kind of got a little something going. They went and they beat Washington in such a wild end of that game. And that was not an easy matchup, especially with the potential pace of play that we didn't really see until the end of the game. I wasn't expecting Rico to go off for much last week. I don't know. Let me see how many attempts he got. He got 19 attempts against Washington in a game that turned into such a wild shootout at the end, like 34-26. So I like him to just be able to be very productive against the Giants, who are 30th in rushing yards allowed to running backs. If you guys watched that game last week when Tommy DeVito was making his debut on the 2024 season, anyways, not his first game overall, but Bucky Irving went absolutely nuts against this Giants team. So I think that Rico is going to easily be able to go over. I would take this all the way up to 70. I'm comfortable with it. I'm even like looking at, I think I took his rushing receiving combo. I think it was at like 90, like the second tier down was like 99.5 or something like that. But bottom line, I'm loving just his rushing yards. I don't want to have to depend on him getting into the end zone. His fantasy score is actually bumped up quite a bit this week. A lot of these platforms are putting out like 13.5. I think they're expecting him to be pretty involved. 13.5. So just give me the rushing yards alone this week. Soft matchup. I'm just going to keep it simple. If we take a look at Daily Grind, they like his receptions over 2.5 the best. You can take that if you want. 52.64% odds to hit the over, minus 130. I'll tell you why I like the rushing yards better though. I think last week, I don't know, did he go for 3? Yeah, he just barely made 3. I mean, he's gone for 3 and like he's gone for at least 3 in 4 out of his last 5 games, and it is 23rd in receptions allowed to running back. So if you'd rather do that, go for it. That actually does look pretty good. But I know he's going to be running the ball, and I know that this is like the softest matchup right now, 30th. So you have 2 options there. If you don't want to take the receptions, you can go with what I'm taking, the rushing yards. They've got that favored to go over, 50.47% odds to hit the over, minus 119. So close to a 50-50 shot. They like a lot of his stuff to go over. They also like his rushing receiving combo, 86.5, and his fantasy score. They like that to go over 13.5 too. I am starting him in Dynasty this week at Flex. So yeah, go with your gut. But there's some options there for you, but I love this rushing yards to go over. If you guys want to check out Outlier, this app is really cool. It helps you just really dial into the details, figure out exactly whether or not you want to take these plays that are popping off on your radar. You can check out matchups, injury reports, which is super crucial, and then insights about the players. They give you little write-ups about these different props that they like. and they point you in the direction of that actual prop, and they'll even send you straight to the platform where they're finding the best value. So you can try this out for free. They're hooking up all of our viewers. You don't have to put in a code. Just go through the link in the description of the video, and yeah, they'll give you 7 days to try this out. But that's going to cover my plays. I'll pass it over to Jordy.
All right. Well, to cover mine here, I've got this Tyron Tracy receiving yards. Excuse me. I've got this Tyron Tracy receiving yards for over 11.5, and it's at 9.5 on most platforms except for Prize Picks, but I like it all the way up at 11.5. And people just don't understand what kind of a receiving target this guy is. Like I mention it every time I take this prop, but he's a converted wide receiver who is now a running back, and he's playing great running back. I mean, he's playing awesome, but this dude's really going to be lethal when they find a guy who can get him the ball in space. And we finally saw it a little bit with Tommy DeVito. He got him in space, and he went for 28 receiving yards. So I think they're going to capitalize on this, and I think they're just trying to find consistent quarterback play all over the place. I think Drew Lock is the best idea they've had all year. I just don't know why it took so long. I mean, their whole season is gone now with no hopes, and they're like finally starting to make the right changes. I didn't see that Malik Neighbors clip, but I gotta look that up because that sounds hilarious. But Tracy, I mean, he's got a great matchup here. 25th in receiving yards allowed to running backs, giving up 37.7. My Cowboys have been soft as F on every single category when it comes to defense this year. We finally looked a little bit better last week. We really started to get out there and punch the Commanders in the mouth, and we looked like that smash mouth defense again. So it was a little bit better. It was still sketchy because we were playing against a Jaden Daniels who was super hurt the entire game. So I think this game's going to be a little rocky. I think the Cowboys will get it done, but I think Tracy's going to have a big game. I'm contemplating flexing him in Dynasty for fantasy. So I'm trying to decide between him and Mike Evans. I think I'm going to leave Evans in, but really like Tracy this week for sure. I think the receiving matchup and the rushing matchup is great. I'm all over this. I think the 9.5 is such a sweet deal, but I think he'll go for more than that too. So I'm comfortable with the 11.5. So taking all of that for over, if we check this, this one is juiced to go under. Just mind you that the receptions are juiced to go over too. If this guy catches the ball twice, I promise you, I think he will go over 11.5 receiving yards. I really do. Yeah, so if you like the receptions at 2, you can take that. The reception matchup is a little bit harder. They're like 9th in receptions allowed. Let me just pull this up. So yeah, 9th in receptions allowed to running backs. So we're a little bit better in that category. The Cowboys definitely aren't a pass funnel defense. They're trying to clean it up. They're a kind of a run funnel, to be honest. They're getting ran all over. So if this guy gets out in space with the ball, I like his odds to take one catch like 10 yards because he's averaging 6.6 yards a catch. I've seen that somewhere. It's not showing it to me now, but yeah, average yards per reception. He's averaging 19 yards per reception. So this dude is crushing this line on one catch. So I think as long as they can get him out in space on one catch, he crushes this line. So taking that for over. Moving on to CeeDee Lamb. I love this. CeeDee Lamb last year, last year head to head. Even this year against the Giants, he went over this already once. He had 7 receptions in the last meetup they had. That was a close game, 20-15. I think it's going to be a very similar outcome. They've got this game at a 37.5 over under with Cowboys favored by 3.5. I think that's fair. I think it'll be around that. It could get crazier than that. Who knows? If Drew Lock comes out there and starts sniping, then I think it's going to get really interesting. So he's gone over the 6 out of 11 games. It's been a rocky road for CD this year. It's been kind of disappointing. It's not really his fault. It's been quarterback play, to be honest, and coaching, all sorts of those things. I mean, our team has looked so trash this year. So they're finally getting him the usage he needs and was getting last year. Last year, he went over this 10 out of 18 games, and I mean, he had some monster performances where he was getting up in double-digit receptions, and he would have like 20 targets per game sometimes. So this play, I think Cooper Rush is actually looking pretty solid. So I think he's going to keep getting him the ball. Over the last 2 games, he's really been forcing it to him. So I think that'll continue. I think it has to, because it's CeeDee Lamb's it's their star guy. This is the guy, so they're going to get him the ball. 12th in receptions allowed, giving up 11.6 per game to outside wide receivers. So loving this play for sure. I think CeeDee's going to eat tomorrow. So yeah, taking that for the over. If we check this on DG, let me find where I'm at here. The receptions are juiced to go over at a -124, 51.5% chance to hit the over here. So I think CeeDee Lamb's a pretty safe play tomorrow, to be honest. My last play is going to be Jason Sanders for over 1.5 field goals. He was my kicker in fantasy for a while, and I let him go because he's only getting like two field goals per game, but his line set at 1.5, and he's been consistently hitting this. Over the last 10 games, he's gone over the seven games, and he's gone over it in 6 straight games here, or 5 straight games, and he's hit it in 7 out of his last 10. So he's been really killing this line. They're more comfortable last year. As you can see, they were on that train of like, we don't know what a 4th down field goal is. They were going for it a lot. So this year they've been a lot more shaky, and they've just been taking the points, and I think it's smarter coaching. So I think they're going to continue that. They've been very adamant about just take the points, because they know they're just going to get right back up the field. I mean, he had 2 field goals in this game where they won 34-15, 34-19, 25 or 23-15. So they're constantly kicking field goals. So a lot more comfortable taking this. Green Bay is 4th in field goals allowed. That's because their defense has been giving up a whole ton of points too, so it kind of skews that number. But I think tomorrow is going to be enough of a setting to where I think they're going to have to kick some field goals. So one thing I will mention, I was just telling Russo about this too, keep an eye on the first quarter field goal props. In the NFL, there's some crazy stat where it's like 70+% of NFL games have a first quarter field goal made. And they always put out a field goal combo for both kickers to hit 1 field goal, and it cashes all the time for me, and I take it all the time. And it's missed like once or twice this year, but out of like all these games, I've been like, I think for like the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've been like testing it out, and every time I see it, I always forget to check, but every time I do check it and I see it, I take it and it hits. So I'm like, maybe I'm onto something a little bit with that. I think a lot of people take that, but it definitely is a good prop to take. But yeah, the 1.5 for Jason Sanders, I feel good about. This is juiced to go over. It's a -124 to go over, 50.72% chance. By the way, this column being red for the 50.72% chance, this is their odds to hit indicator, and they're always really hard on the odds to hit. Like this is a good multiplier right here, being over 50%. It doesn't look good because it's red. I know, like like a really juice play, if I take Sanders away, you guys will see these green columns where it's like this is a 207 and a 59% chance to hit. This is great. This is a CS2 play though. You're never gonna find. Russo has the best play of the day with Malik Neighbors over at 6 receptions. That's a great play. Of course they're going to give you a high multiplier on that play. The narrative, the matchup, everything looks great. So they're like, hey, smash this play. That's when the column goes green at 55%. It's still only a 55% chance to hit, but it's now in the green. You know what I'm saying? So it's a -143. So everything backs up that play and it looks great. So don't let the red column scare you on DG, because that just means that, of course, the play is going to be hard to hit, but it is in the better percentile to hit rather than it being like a worse play. So anything over like 51% or 50.50% chance is usually a pretty solid play. So I like Jason Sanders a lot. That's going to cover my 3 plays. Just a quick honorable mention from me. I was just telling Russo about this too, because I know he's got some for you. But this Devon Achane for his first quarter receiving prop at 2.5. He's only hit it in 6 out of 11 games this year, but he's really starting to get worked into the receiving game a lot more. And this is a soft matchup, 24th in receiving yards allowed to running backs. And this guy is like the receiving back right now. So Devon Achane, first quarter receiving prop at 2.5 yards. I'm playing it tomorrow. And they also have a Patrick Mahomes rushing yard at 0.5 for the first quarter. I think it looks pretty solid too. So there's just a couple little gems to throw into your lineups for a little bit of a risk, but they do look pretty solid. So like Tyreek Hill at 9.5 first quarter receiving yards, stuff like that. But that's going to cover it for me. If you guys want to check out the DG optimizer, I kind of showed you how it just worked. Go to dgfantasy.com and use code BACKDOOR and you'll get 25% off of your first purchase, whether that's for a month or a year. Definitely go check them out. They are awesome. And check out Chalkboard too. They're another DFS platform we're sponsored by. They're just mobile only, so when they start covering desktop, it'll be a lot better. But they're awesome because I think he said today they had like 17 specials on the board for the NBA slate. So really crazy. They're going to have a ton for tomorrow too. So definitely go check out Chalkboard. They run a Taco Tuesday like every day pretty much. Use code BACKDOOR for 100% match up to $100 and a free play to help you cash your first slip. And that's going to cover it all for me. I am done yapping for Thanksgiving. I cannot wait to eat food tomorrow.
No, you're not. We're going to hang out a little bit longer.
All right. All right.
It's Thanksgiving,
I'm buckled
man.
in, buddy. I'm ready.
Let's hang out for a little bit. We want to give you guys, we want to just give you a little bit of extra because it's Thanksgiving and it's coming into the fun time of year. So we used to do like demon videos, which was fun.
True.
And it's just, we've got so much going on. It's hard to make a video for all these different things. We're covering 4 platforms now, but I wanted to talk to you guys just briefly. Actually, let me show you. So if you're interested, some of you guys are like, hey, talk about some demon plays. You don't have to take any of these, but I used my free play that was on Prize Picks. And I like shooting for the stars with these free plays or with my protected plays. This is up to 810 if it hits. It's a 6-man.
Let me tell you real quick, buddy.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I was just going to show them real quick some of this. So like, obviously Malik Neighbors is in here, the 7.5 receptions demon. I told you guys what he said, how he was frustrated. He still went for 6 receptions in the second half. He's got like a relatively decent matchup. My other, and this is already in the Discord too, but my other was Rico Dowdle. I took his rushing yards demon at 79.5. Because that's not that much higher than the 66, you know, it's like 15 yards more. And he's got a really soft matchup and he had 19 carries last week and he beat this line against Washington, which is a much more difficult situation. My other was DJ Moore. I like him over 5.5 receptions. I've got that pulled up. He's done this in back-to-back weeks here. And he's playing against a pass funnel defense who is 32nd in receptions allowed to wide receivers. So I think that looks super juicy. Let me go back here. What did I get that at? 5.5 receptions for a demon. And then Jalen Waddle, a demon for 4.5 receptions. And I think I've got that pulled up here too. Let me go to his receptions real quick. Yeah, he had 8 last week, and I get it, you know, like that it's still a tough matchup against Green Bay, but like we mentioned earlier, Jair Alexander is out. So, yeah, 6th in receptions allowed to wide receivers, but their best cornerback is out. And then he hits 4 pretty consistently. He's gone over 3.5, 6 out of his last 10 games. And then 7 of 11 on the 2024 season. And then he's just coming off that game against New England where he went for 8. So I think he can do 1 more than 4. That was my thought process behind taking that 4.5 receptions. And then I just put a regular one in here that I'm comfortable with. Josh Jacobs' fantasy score. He had, what did he have, like 3 touchdowns last week? I know that's not just a guarantee, but you can go look at the fantasy score. This isn't a demon anyways, but that was just one I put in there. So I'm not taking like everything demons. And then Jonnu Smith, 5.5 receptions. You know, he's gone for 6 or more in the last 2. He's been heavily targeted lately. So I think he can get 6 receptions. These demon plays are harder to hit. So they're designed to be harder to hit. They're giving you a higher multiplier for that reason. But all of these kind of made sense to me. So I put them together and I put that free play on it. Hopefully I'm celebrating and making $810 tomorrow.
Yeah, me too, both, buddy.
Did you use your free play?
No,
Yep.
but I threw a 10 on there as well. So I'm telling you.
Nice. Sweet, man. Well, we can sweat this one out. But it's kind of fun. It covers several of the games. But honestly, like that DJ Moore, 5.5 receptions. I've been loving the receptions for the demon plays because I'm like, I love that they do that for demons now.
Yeah.
And some of them are pretty decent. Actually, Tyrone Tracy has one too on his receptions. Which I thought was interesting. I'll pull that up and then I'll start wrapping up.
Oh yeah, to piggyback onto that too, Drew Lock targeted running backs 3rd most in his career so far. So not saying that wasn't like scheming for the offense or anything, but if he does like to check it down, I think Tracy is going to reap the benefit of that even more, obviously.
Yeah, great pass catcher. And then again, like his regular line is at 2. And then if you take a look, what are we gonna? So they have the 3.5, and they also have a demon for 2.5. So you just get a little bit of a bump, and then when you're making out like a 6-man or something, that little bump will actually, it compounds when you're going like 5 or 6. So I thought that Tracy 2.5 receptions looked pretty solid too for a demon play.
Yeah, he's got a touchdown demon too at 0.5. It looks pretty solid.
Yeah. There's I have a lot of fun with these. They're harder to hit, but you don't need to hit them every single day. Like when you do, you're pretty set for a while. You can afford to go on a losing streak like I've been on. But anyways, guys, that covers it. If you guys want to come join our Discord, you can take advantage of that Parlay Play promo. And just join Parlay Play, use code Backdoor. You'll get 30 days in the Discord. If you want to skip that, you can just go straight through Patreon. There's a link in the description. They just manage our subscriptions. Once you sign up with Patreon, you go into the settings. There's a connected apps option in the menu bar, and then you log into your Discord straight from there. We're also on X, TikTok, and Instagram. There's Jordy.
Hey, wearing the same outfit I was earlier, buddy.
So yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's just at Backdoor FS. We have all of our personal socials connected as well too, if you guys want to say what's up. But happy Thanksgiving, guys. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for watching our show. We appreciate you. We are going to cash a 6-man tomorrow. I can feel it.
Yes, we are.
Hopefully it's the demon slip.
Yeah, hopefully. That'd be nice.
Hopefully let's cash both of them. Let's just do it that way.
Let's just make a bunch of money tomorrow.
Let's do it. But yeah, man, I don't know about you. Or you have anything, or you get to eat ham tomorrow, which I don't get to do.
Yeah, ham is definitely good. It's I have an uncle, fortunately, who is like a culinary chef who's gonna be mobbing out here and cooking up a smorgasbord of amazing food. So I am super ready for tomorrow, and very blessed to be able to spend it with family. And I think it's important too, like, we always talk about our faith on here, but I just appreciate everything that you guys have helped us do on here. And it's just all God that we're able to get on here and do this for fun, and it really is a cool time. So I appreciate all of you guys and everything. So I'm thankful for all of you who watch our channel, even though you guys let us have it in the comments sometimes. I do appreciate you. I am thankful for you. So nothing but gratitude over here this Thanksgiving for sure.
Yeah, I'm thankful for all you guys as well. And I'm a little jealous that Jordy gets to eat ham tomorrow, which I love it, I think we should just make it a thing where on Thanksgiving we have ham.
Yeah, it should be turkey. It should be both. Turkey and ham go together.
Turkey is good. My mother-in-law is making really awesome like charcuterie setup, cheese and all that stuff. So I'm going to be locking into the first game with a bunch of snacks.
Heck yeah.
And I just got to try not to get too full by the time it's time to eat dinner.
I know. I got 2 dinners to go to. I got my wife's family and then my family to go to. So it's going to be pretty hectic tomorrow. I'll be very full.
Bouncing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, we got football all day. Looking forward to Black Friday football too. For sure. You guys have a really killer Thanksgiving. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your time with family, and we will catch you in the next one.
Good luck, guys.